Hello, my name is Leon Thomas. You're here to watch Real Thoughts and Conversations, the show where we talk about things that are going on in society and in business and try to let you, our viewer, learn a lot about what's going on in the world of business and in the world of society. My name is Leon Thomas. Thanks for joining us for Real Thoughts and Conversations. Let's talk about it. You're here for another episode of Real Thoughts and Conversations. My name is Leon Thomas. Real Thoughts airs live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. right here on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Tell your friends about it, but also tell your friends you don't have to watch it live because there's always a link out there that you can go to the show and watch it at any time you want. So let's say you're up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you say, I have nothing to do, and you can watch Real Thoughts and Conversation. If you would like to be a guest on Real Thoughts and Conversation, or you notice someone would make a great panelist, send me an email. Send the email to leonthetrainer at gmail.com. All right, tonight we have a great show. Tonight, we're going to talk about hotel operations and the whole concept behind a worker shortage and how it's affecting business and specifically hotels. We have two very experienced hotel operators with us today that are going to share their thoughts on things that are going on. And you as guests, you as consumers might not be aware of some of the things that are happening now. So I'd like to bring in our guests for tonight, our panelists for tonight. We have Bill Clegg and Mark Zelasnik. Bill, Mark, thanks for being with us here on Real Thoughts.
Thanks. Great to be here.
All
Thanks for
right,
having
so
us, Leon.
great to have you both here. Let's start with you, Bill. Bill, take 30 to 45 seconds to kind of introduce yourself to everyone watching it. Tell us some things about you.
Having me on the show, I really do appreciate it. It's wonderful to see you again after spending so much time with you at our last company of employment. So I'm a hotel guy. I think I got bit by the bug when I was growing up in a family with a father in the Navy, and we traveled so much and stayed in hotels, and I just loved the look, the feel, the concept of staying in hotels. So fast forward to college, I ended up starting my career as a bellman at a Marriott hotel in Blacksburg, Virginia. I worked my way up the ladder, ended up in the sales office after graduating, and then into a Sheraton sales office in the same town after that. And long story short, went to work for a couple of hotel developers in Virginia, putting together projects and serving as the opening and pre-opening and opening general manager at two different hotels before I joined Choice. With Choice for 25 years, spent time managing our franchise service teams in a variety of regions across the country. And 4 years ago, made the switch from franchise service to franchise sales, or development as it's called. And I'm now pleased to represent Best Western's brands in the mid-Atlantic states of the U.S. and the Caribbean. So I'm still on the road a lot. I'm still experiencing a lot of hotels. And the good news is, day in and day out, I'm speaking to owners and managers of hotels. So I think I've got my ear to the ground for what's happening in the industry today.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Bill. Mark, go ahead and give us your self-introduction. Tell us some things about you. 30 to 45 seconds. Mark Zelasnik.
Great. Thanks, Leon. Well, like Bill, I started as a bellman. Don't know how old he was when he did it, but I was 30 years old, not liking my career of choice, and decided I needed something new. So at 30 years old, I became a bellman at the Tucson Hilton. Bounced around the hospitality industry, as you usually do or sometimes do, going from state to state and city to city until I was hired by Vista Host. Worked with them in California as a guest service manager. They sold my hotel and transferred me to Maryland, where I worked also as a guest service manager. They sold my hotel, and I was transferred to a hotel in Cherry Hill, New Jersey as the AGM. where they sold my hotel. They wanted to move me to another city-state. Decided at that point, maybe I should not move around so much. So I stayed in Baltimore, where I got a job as the general manager of a Holiday Inn Express in Herndon, Virginia. Worked there for about a year until they sold my hotel. And then at that point, got picked up again by Vista Host as the general manager of the Hampton Inn BWI, where I met Leon Thomas. And that was, I think, in 1996. Worked there as a general manager for 5 years. Kind of got burnt out on operations and said I needed to change. So I convinced my CEO to hire me as the revenue manager for the company. Did not exist at the time, so I kind of had to create my own job title. Did that for a while. Then we needed to hire some more people, so we hired some more revenue managers, area revenue managers. Got promoted to VP of Operations, VP of Revenue Management, and I've been doing that for 20 years. And that's my title right now. So I've been with Vista Host for about 27 years with I think a year and a half break.
Okay, great. So Mark and Bill, obviously you have a tremendous amount of experience in the hotel business. You've seen a lot happen. You've seen the cycles, the up and downs. You were both in the business when 9/11 happened and saw the business ebbs and flows doing that, other turns in the economy, and now coming out of things now post-COVID. I'm hearing reports, news, CNBC, other networks, that hotels are selling a lot of rooms, that business is back, particularly on leisure travel. Mark, let's start with you. Is that the case with your hotels, your portfolio of hotels? Or
absolutely. Absolutely. Right now, about 75 to 80% of Vista Host hotels are actually beating 2019 performance numbers, which is something that we didn't expect to happen this early. We were hopeful that it might happen by September. So, after the first quarter, it kind of just turned around, and leisure travel, just obviously for obvious reasons, people wanted to get out. They started to travel. So the weekends just kind of went crazy. Weekday travel is still a little soft, but people are coming back and traveling. Businesses obviously shut down. Business people didn't want to travel, but the leisure people wanted to travel a lot. So the business is booming. Great majority has been leisure travel.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, Bill, you travel some. You go into the cities, and you may stay at hotels that are not with your company. What are you seeing internally with your company, and out when you're traveling? Are you seeing a lot of people out there? Are the planes full? Restaurants? I mean, are people back? Have we recovered yet? What are you seeing?
Absolutely, Leon. I am. As you know, in the role that I play with Best Western today, when I'm traveling into a city to work, chances are that we don't have representation in that city. So I'm staying at competitive brand hotels. But like every other traveler today, I'm either driving or I'm flying to get there, and I'm eating out in restaurants and so forth. And I'll tell you what, the last 2 to 3 months, the last 2 months, let's say, it's been absolutely packed. When I'm on, the interstate highways are packed, the restaurants are packed. I live in North Carolina. Our restaurants are back to full capacity, as they are in most states now, and the waiting lines are incredible. From a business perspective for Best Western, I know that I'm hearing that we have had more multi-million-dollar reservation days through CRS this year than we were having back to this point in the year in 2019 and 2018. So travel is not only back, but it's back with a vengeance. People are out, people are back, and yes, I agree with Mark that a lot of it is leisure travel. But what I'm also seeing when I'm in these hotels is I'm seeing fellow road warriors. I'm seeing the business person who needs to get back out on the highway, tend to business in his or her portfolio or region or sales region to get work done. So, I think a lot of I don't want to say caution's been thrown to the wind. I'm seeing a lot of good COVID protocols still in place at hotels, but I don't think people are hesitant to travel like they were even 3 or 4 months ago.
Mhm. Now, Bill, let's stick with you for just a moment. What I'm hearing, what I'm seeing, and I say by hearing, those are friends of mine that manage hotels or work for management companies. If these folks that are general managers or regionals and so forth. And also, I read social media posts, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. Hotel managers, hotel operators are working crazy, crazy hours. Their hourly employees are working crazy hours because of staffing shortages.
Correct, Leon.
Is that real? I mean, is that the
Oh,
case?
it
Insight on that.
absolutely is, Leon. Again, in the role that I play, I speak on a daily basis with owners and managers of hotels, and I can tell you in all honesty, in 95% of the conversations I have, that topic comes up, not prompted by me, prompted by them, talking about what they're doing. You've got managers who are working 6 and 7 days a week, 10 to 12 hours a day, cleaning rooms, working the front desk. You've got hourly employees working double shifts, when they do come in. But this labor shortage is very, very real. It's something where owners and managers are having to find innovative ways to address different approaches. And I've got some thoughts to share with you at the right time about what maybe these owners and managers can do to make it a different work environment. It is a different work environment today for line level employees and management than it was even 2 years ago. And I think everybody needs to adjust.
Mm-hmm. Mark, with your portfolio at Vista Host, Mark, is that you sensing the same thing, that there are
Absolutely
staffing shortages as well?
I think over the past 15 months, can't say that we lost one general manager or director of sales for that matter, because we had the foresight to keep everybody instead of laying everybody off or closing a hotel. So I've never met a more loyal group of people, more hardworking group of people in my life. And I think from my conversations with other managers and with other companies, I'm hearing the same thing. Sadly, we are somewhat, abusing the what's it called, salaried managers. They're overworked, yes, and we're hoping that within the next, let's say, 3 months, we'll have a little bit of break in that. And we're getting a little now, but it's still very, very busy, and we're still very short staffed. So we're seeing the same exact things, and there are reasons for it, which we'll, like Bill said, at the right time we'll discuss it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So now with these staffing shortages, everybody's working longer. Days off aren't what they typically are. What impact is that having? I mean, it may seem obvious to some, but the two of you may have some insights on what long-term impact that has on a manager or an hourly team or department employees of this extended hours of working and all that. Can you speak some to that, Mark? Let's start with you first on that one.
Well, I mean, I'm not on property, but all I can say is that way back when, I think my longest stretch without a day off was 105 days, and it was grueling. I mean, I was a assistant banquet manager, which is what I got promoted to from Bellman at the Tucson Hilton, and I think I worked through my manager's maternity leave. And you just worked every day. You worked, as with banquets, you work 12 hours a day, no days off. It's tough, but you find the energy and you get the job done. You just don't have any other life. It's all work, and mentally, physically, psychologically, it's grueling. So it's very hard for that. The nice thing is that Vista Host-wise, very, very supportive, very, very supportive from the top. They certainly understand what it is to be in the hospitality industry. And, I heard the positive affirmations and support messages from the top down. So that was good to hear.
Mm-hmm. And Bill, as you talk to hotel owners and developers about this very thing, what types of conversations have they had with you regarding their concern of the long-term impact that this may have on those that are working those extended hours?
Sure. So Leon, we're in an industry called the hospitality industry, right? And you've got employees who you put out on the front line, whether it's front desk or housekeeping or management positions or others, who are expected to be positive, out front, helpful, going the extra mile, and just really putting their best foot forward to be hospitality driven for the guests. And that's why I think we're all in this business, because we all share a passion for pleasing other people. But it's the opposite side of the coin when you've got an employee who has been working, 10 days, 12 days, 15 days, 40 days, whatever, incredible hours, and they get to burnout. And then that burnout kind of migrates into resentment. They still show up to do the job, but they're not showing up with the same, in many cases, they're not showing up with the same approach or the same attitude or the same hospitality focus that they were before. So, once this thing starts to loosen up, I think we're going to have employees who are healthy, happier, and more focused on delivering the hospitality that they got in the business to do. But for now, it's asking a lot of them who have been working for however long and however many hours to keep that positive smile and that commitment to service that we expect of them. So, it is going to get better. There is some sunshine on the horizon, or however you want to take a look at it, but it's just not quite here yet. I think it's just around the corner, though.
Mm-hmm. Folks, my name is Leon Thomas. You're watching Real Thoughts and Conversations. We're here every Wednesday at 7 o'clock, right here live on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Be sure to watch our other shows. New Biz Buzz, that's on Mondays at 7, where we highlight businesses that are new, businesses that are unique, businesses that are doing something to help society. And also be sure to watch the show that we are helping to create and produce. The name of that show is Jasmine Pollock's First Impression Sports Talk. It's a sports talk show that's on Mondays at 8 p.m. Now, Bill and Mark, I've seen a lot of social media posts. I've heard a lot of people in the business say that with all of this that you guys have clearly outlined, what the perspective of the hotel manager and operator, that guests are more demanding now. Is that true, that guests are more demanding, and how do we take care of them, but not? I mean, it's a tough situation. I'm hearing guests are more demanding, but we're and all that. Mark, go ahead.
Leon, because before this program, I sent you some live emails that I got from guests and what they were requesting. Wouldn't necessarily call it demanding. They were, because it gives a bad connotation. They were requesting, but I think the traveling public right now is just less educated in what to expect from the hospitality industry. And case in point, the majority of my hotels are select service, Hampton Inns, Holiday Inn Express, Fairfield Inns, and a guest will check in sometimes and ask for a bellman or a room service menu. And our hotel level, that's not what it is. That's why it's called select service. I get comments all the time saying there was no restaurant on property. I mean, it's a Hampton Inn. There were no restaurants on property. Or the property had no amenities. I don't know what they mean, but again, it's a Fairfield Inn. There are a few amenities. On the other hand, as you know, because I send you the emails, I do get some crazy requests from hotels online. I had 3 last week, and I think I shared 2 of them with you, Leon. One of them, a man wanted us to put roses on the bed at check-in. Okay, it's a Hampton Inn. The guest was paying about $99 for the reservation. Asked us to put roses on the bed at check-in. Another guest asked that he wanted a picture of Adam Ant. And Leon, I sent you that email straight from the request. They wanted a picture of Adam Ant on the bed table because his wife, that was his wife's favorite person, Adam Ant. And of course, the last one I got, very, very specific, wanted the headboard on the west wall of the hotel with the foot of the hotel facing sunrise. And all these 3 were separate requests from last week that I see all the requests, everyone. Normally it's like, okay, away from elevator, away from ice machine. But these I get these all the time. And of course, sometimes I get a simple, room with a view, except that it's in Florence, Kentucky. And I don't know what they expect of you. So, it's crazy. So I wouldn't necessarily call it demanding. People just don't understand from my point of view, what to expect of that level hotel. Now, Bill, I think, has some full service hotels, so he may have a little different expectation or example of some demanding guests.
Well, can we go back to the Adam Ant thing here just for a second, please?
Okay.
Number one, now I think I'm a guy that's pretty much with it and is aware of a lot of things. When I saw that one from Adam Ant, I don't know who Adam Ant is, right? So that number one. But I could see it if they wanted a picture of me on the nightstand. Right?
Exactly.
That's different. I could give it that, or maybe a picture of you, a picture of Clyde. But I don't know. We could have accommodated. I would have autographed the picture. Right. But
I think sometimes it's a test to see how far they can push us for these weird requests. Right. Now demanding. I mean, maybe Bill has a different, angle on, how demanding a guest is. I look at that as you're a 5-star hotel and, you want a certain level of hospitality. He might speak to that.
Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah. So, no, that I think you hit the nail on the head, Mark. So, the difference between a 5-star hotel and a 3-star hotel, I think, is sometimes lost on people when they're spending a lot of money on a hotel room. And I want to back up for just a minute. So I don't have a great bag of weird requests like you get to see, Mark. And actually, I'd love if you put me on your distribution list, because I could use a good laugh sometimes. But what I'm seeing is that guests are being more demanding about the things the very things that just drive the front desk clerk crazy. They want early check-in. They demand check-in at 7:30, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, or they demand check-out at 5 p.m., 6 p.m. All of a sudden, everybody is a Diamond member, whether they are or not. That kind of thing. I'm seeing a lot of that, and I really ascribe that to 2 reasons. Number one, just as the hotel staff are burned out and becoming resentful, I think the guests coming out of the pandemic period are also burned out and feeling resentful. They haven't been able to travel. They haven't been able to spend time with family. They haven't been able to get out and do business the way they were doing before. And so they're doing it now, and they're doing it with a vengeance, and they don't want anything to stand in their way. So I think they're going to be very demanding when they come in the door. And the second area, and Mark, maybe you can speak to this as well. Hotels are coming off a period of 12, 13, 15 months of very slim revenues. And I know that there are a lot of owners and a lot of managers who are trying to make up for lost time with rate. And the good news is that when you've got occupancies and you've got demand pushing you into the 90% plus occupancy range, you're going to maximize rates. You're going to employ all of your revenue management strategies. You're going to do everything you can do to go after the maximum number of lengths of nights of stay. You're going to max rates out and so forth. And when somebody is used to paying, as I was in the few times I traveled 6-7 months ago, $79 a night for a decent select service hotel. And I go back to that same hotel today and they want $289 a night on a Thursday night in the summer. I'm going to be demanding. I'm not going to be demanding, but I can understand why people are going to be demanding when they're paying that kind of rate. So I think the more we can educate our front office team around what guests may be feeling, and help them, equip them to address guest needs, make it a positive stay from the start, the better off we're going to be. And I'll end with one quick example. So I was at I won't name the brand, I was at a very well-respected select service brand hotel one night last week. And I came down for breakfast in the morning, and thankfully this hotel was back to serving almost a full breakfast. A guest was in the breakfast area absolutely berating the breakfast attendant, saying, I'm paying $179 at this blank select service hotel, and you're telling me all you have is pork sausage and you have no hard-boiled eggs. Why am I paying so much money and yet you're not giving me everything I come to expect? And I think that's the attitude that a lot of guests have now. If they're going to pay the kind of money that we're charging now, we better be doing it right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, exactly. And everybody knows that, as you said, not necessarily only for financial reasons, but because of the pandemic and the protocols for safety, we did have to change some of the things that we offered the guests. The pool was closed, obviously, the gym was closed, certainly, and for the select service hotels, we serve a breakfast, a very nice breakfast, when we have it. But for the last 12 months or 15 months, it's been, to go bag. And that was rough. But I will also tell you, Bill and Leon, during that time period when they were saying, the breakfast is meager, we also were charging a lot less. So our response to a guest that said, you should give me money back because you're not giving me a full breakfast. And the GM's response usually was, well, normally this hotel would sell for $200 a night. We're only selling it for $100 a night. That's how we're compensating you. Those were real situations of guests who were complaining, whether it's TripAdvisor or whatever, about the fact that they got less than they usually got when they stayed at the hotel. But in every case, they were paying a lot less, in the last, year. Now we have opened everything up again. I think most of my hotels are serving the full breakfast again. They're certainly paying a lot more, but that goes with everything else right now.
Mm-hmm. So we've talked about, everything from the operator perspective, and even both of you have discussed, some of the psychology behind what a guest is feeling. So obviously, the two of you understand everything that's in play here. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you've communicated that with people that you work with, and even your friends that travel. They have an understanding of this thanks to you being able to communicate those things. Now, let's kind of roll back into something that we said we were going to touch on earlier, and let's do that. In terms of the staffing shortages, why? Why do we see these staffing shortages? Is it because of the stimulus money? Is it because of folks going to work at companies that are paying more? What's causing this? Bill, what do you think?
So, Leon, yes, all of the above, B, all of the above, C, all of the above. I think we are competing for line level workers with fast food, with retail, with every other place where they can go and work and are not going to be subject to, in a lot of cases, subject to the demands and whims of very picky travelers. But I'll tell you, the other part of this, and I do believe this, and I believe it with all respect, I think the stimulus money has provided an opportunity for people to kind of take a breather during the pandemic period, step away from work, and maybe think about what they want to do and what they're going to do next. Mm-hmm. And I don't believe we've brought those employees back to work yet. Now, 25 states have voted to end the extra federal unemployment benefits early. So as of today, as of June 30th, 25, half the states of this country have ended it. But here's the thing, the bulk of them have only ended it since June 19th. So from June 19th till today, over the last 11 days, the bulk of these 25 states have ended their extra benefits. So we're not seeing yet whether or not the suspension or the ending of these additional benefits is going to drive people back into the workforce. I suspect that it will. States that have already stopped the extra federal benefit include key summer vacation states: South Carolina, Texas, Alaska, Arizona will be coming up on July 10th. So I think we're going to see people wanting to come back to work sooner rather than later, and that's why I'm optimistic about the fact that we're going to have the staffing that we need, or at least be getting back to close to what we need, perhaps within the next 30 to 60 days.
So I really need to expand on that list because there's a lot more that was involved, is involved with that. And my list starts with early retirement. You don't think about it, but one of the biggest shortages we have right now is for pilots, and a lot of the pilots decided to take early retirement, and that's why we have a shortage in pilots. Okay, so that's one industry. But that's one of the causes of the shortages. A lot of the baby boomers who were working said, you know what, I quit. I don't need to do this anymore. I'm going to retire. Another thing, a big part is that fear of catching the virus is a big part of it. There are some people that, even with the vaccine, just don't want to come back because they're afraid of catching the virus. I heard that there are a lot of women leaving the workforce in the last year, some to become mothers, and take care of their child at home. A lot of people are shuffling jobs. I think Bill did mention that, shuffling jobs for bigger opportunities. One of the biggest things, which, we're not going to get into politics right now, but is the shortage of unskilled and undereducated workers due to the issue with immigration. That's been a big problem for a couple of years. Of course, one of the biggest ones, obviously, was the schools being closed. I mean, parents could not send their kids to school, so they can't take off work come back to work because they're all working or at home because the kids are learning virtually. So that's another one. And of course, the final one that I heard about was childcare challenges because you couldn't send your child to a childcare company because of COVID. So, I mean, I think it's much bigger than the stimulus check or the extra unemployment benefits. It's a part of it. And I guess just to expand on that is that I think that moving forward, based on my list, by September, a lot of those things should go away. So, and I think, Bill may have his, opinion as well, but I think September, a lot of that is going to go away, and that might be a turnaround for, massive hiring, for the, staff shortages.
Mm-hmm. Now, just a message to our producer, Dr. J. We're going to go about 5 minutes over. Bill, Mark, what can hoteliers do now in trying to overcome these staffing shortages? Are there special ways that they should be recruiting? Are they stealing employees from competitors? What can be done, or what are some of the best things you've seen out there? Bill, let's start with you.
So Leon, I'm reading the same things you are probably about giving tips to owners and managers for going out to competitor hotels or competitive businesses, restaurants, retail operations, finding somebody delivering good service, handing out a business card and saying, hey, I'd love to have you come to work for me. But I want to be respectful of the time that we have left, and I want to kind of leave this final thought. As I've talked to managers and owners over the last several weeks, those who seem to have fewer issues with employees, more employees showing up on a day in and day out basis, are the ones that have really made their environment a conducive one and a welcoming and an engaging one. When I see managers leading rather than telling people what to do, when I see owners pitching and rolling up their sleeves and working side by side with staff, and yes, I see them addressing pay issues and showing that they're doing their darndest to get people in. When they're sharing the challenges with their staff, the staff, I think, put their best foot forward and want to do the right thing for the hotel. Again, we're in the hospitality industry. So I think innovative ways to go out and recruit, absolutely, but wrapping your arms around your staff and showing them how you care about them, what you can do for them, and doing what you can around pay. I think those are key.
Mm-hmm. Mark, you'll have the final word on this, and then we're going to take 30 seconds and go through some fun, quick answers. Go ahead, Mark.
We're not that hotel that are into stealing employees. You have some good employees. Referrals are a big part of it. As Bill said, you treat your staff well and say, we need some employees. They'll tell other people, this is a really good company. We need some employees. Certainly referral bonuses are part of it. Hiring bonuses, you're hearing about that from some of the mega companies. So, we're doing all those things as well. But I think what Bill said is correct. Definitely treat your employees well so that they won't leave, and maybe they'll bring some friends.
All right, right on. Now, you're right. 2 real quick questions, and just give me really short, like 1 or 2 word answers. Favorite food, Mark, go. Favorite food.
Ribs.
Bill, favorite food.
Thai.
Mark, favorite professional or college team?
Mets. Oh wait. They're professional.
Oh no, he said the Mets. And Bill.
Virginia Tech Hokies. Come on, Leon. The world knows I'm a Hokies fan.
I know. I just wanted you to say that because I was looking for.
I got
just
the
wanted
Hokie stuff on the wall right there. I didn't know if you noticed, but yeah, it's all about the Hokies, Leon.
the Hokie stuff on the wall. I hear you. Bill Clegg, Mark Zelaznik, thank you for spending time with us. Great conversation. And actually, in a couple of weeks, we're going to have a follow-up show on this. We have some more hoteliers on board to go deeper into the recruiting aspect of it. So maybe even we could have you back. We'll talk about that, but we will have a follow-up show on this. Thanks for being here, Bill Clegg, Mark Zelaznik. Thank you again for being guest on Real Thoughts and Conversations.
Thanks, Bill. Good to meet you, Bill. Thanks, Leon.
Thank you both.
Folks, Real Thoughts is here every Wednesday at 7. Make sure you watch our other show, New Biz Buzz. That's Mondays at 7. And watch Jasmine Pollock's First Impression Sports Talk, Mondays at 8. Thanks for watching Real Thoughts and Conversation. I'm Leon Thomas. Let's talk about it.